I wrote a text moaning about my Strictly Dance partner, then accidentally sent it to my Strictly Dance partner.
Good Lord, Lee's team.
Who was the Strictly Dance partner?
Gilder Horn. So that I live in Germany, and he was my first Strictly partner.
So this is a German celebrity?
Yes, a
Gilder
singer.
Horn. He's not in the adult film industry.
It's a quite famous man.
What's he famous for?
Singing. He's singing. It was my first year as a dancer on the German show, and it was actually a text before a very important competition, Blackpool, and I was really stressed out.
Blackpool?
Yes.
Does German Strictly get to Blackpool as well?
No.
Because that would be insane. I don't know why we get to Blackpool. The idea of people all over the world going to Blackpool.
All dancers go to Blackpool.
What did the text say?
Oh. I wrote something like, he's not great, and I'm so glad that this is over soon, and then I'll be stress-free for the rest of my life.
But then you sent it to him?
I sent it to him, and he was standing in front of me.
Why didn't you just tell him?
He asked me the same question.
How long had you known him at this point?
2 weeks.
So you were 2 weeks into the training?
Yes.
And who were you sending it to, the text, or you thought you were sending it to?
To my dance teacher, because he was asking me, how are you keeping up?
Did you realise the moment his phone pinged?
No, I realised when he came to me.
Which was when? Straight away or...
Straight away.
Wow, that's German and efficient, isn't it?
And what did he say?
He's like, thanks.
So how are things between you now, then, after this event?
We became intense friends because once the truth is out, it's out.
Lots of people become intense friends on Strictly, don't they?
No.
And how did you do ultimately, and how far did you go? I'm in the competition.
We were fifth. Not bad, right?
Not bad at all. What do you think, Shazia?
I think there's some truths in it, but it's generally a big lie.
What about you, Steve?
Yeah, there's a few things that don't quite add up for me. I'd go lie.
Think lie?
It's a lie.
OK, well, I'll go lie as well.
You're going to say that it's a lie?
Yeah.
OK, Motzi, it's a lovely story, but is it true or is it a lie?
Well, it's true.
I once went into a business meeting in a restaurant at the top of the Shard, but was so overcome by the views, I had to finish the meeting sat under the table.
David's team.
Are you afraid of heights?
No. I'm just very into views. The view is just unbelievable of London, and I'm someone that's always been in awe of basically looking up. I read about that in my book, in fact.
That's the first time anyone has ever plugged a book.
There you go.
And that is why he's a successful businessman.
And did you say you sat under the table?
I went under the table after. The reason why I ended up under the table was because I was uploading the photo to Instagram, and the lighting up there, it's so bright, so I went under the table and I uploaded the photo to Instagram saying I'd just taken this picture and I was blown away by it.
So instead of looking at the amazing view, you're looking at the internet.
Social media is my background.
What was the business meeting about?
We were meeting the CMO of Adidas, I believe, to talk about one of their in-store activations that we were doing at the time, so...
Talking to them about the what?
We were doing a national in-store activation where visuals played in their stores on their...
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to a brand new show, The Generation Gap. Tonight, old David Mitchell will be meeting Stephen and he'll be getting very confused. Don't worry, we'll be bringing you a cup of tea in a moment.
A social media campaign with Adidas across
Right, so lots of things on the internet about shoes. Smash it.
Right, what do you think? Is he telling the truth?
Well, it's interesting because it sounded like the story. He was under the table because he was so intimidated by the view or scared.
That's what I thought he was going to say.
But no, it's the opposite. It's you love the view and you were so keen to share it because that's the thing is, you need to share it so that you can believe it actually happened. And that's the thing. We want to make a mark on the wall. Some build cathedrals, others tweet. We all want to leave a mark.
What about you, Chris?
I believe that Stephen is probably one of them kinds of guys that would like to relive the moment he's just had 5 minutes ago, rather than just having another moment.
What do you think, Shirley?
I think it's plausible, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Well, I think we'll go true.
You're going to say it's true?
Yeah.
Stephen, was it true, what you just said, or was it a lie?
It was a lie.
After seeing a regression therapist, I genuinely believe that in a past life, I used to be a medieval Frenchman.
David, Steve.
A regression therapist?
Yes.
So what's a regression therapist?
So it's a therapist who gives you regression.
I mean, thank you for putting those words in a different order.
More than welcome.
So why is it therapeutic to be told you were someone in the past?
Well, they don't tell you who you are. They get you to a place where you remember who you are.
Past life regression takes a while to get to. So how many...
Have you done it?
I have started to talk to my therapist about it, but it's not an easy journey. It's a very bumpy ride to get to where you're going. So how long did it...
That may just be your therapist saying, Michelle, this is going to take quite a few sessions. At $350 a time.
I don't know. On the NHS, one session. Pull yourself together, thank you.
So go on then, Chizzy. What do they do?
You lie on the sofa, and it's kind of like being hypnotised, where you get to a certain state and they start asking you questions of what you can see.
And what could you see?
So the first thing I saw was I landed in this field and they said, what's on your feet? And I said they were like these metal shoes and they sort of pointed.
So armour?
Yes.
Essentially the booty bit of armour?
Yes.
I've never heard you sound so butch in my life.
So I realised I was in armour because of the way I was walking, and then I walked towards this big castle. It was ruined. The castle was ruined completely.
So you're walking forward, clank, clank, clank. You go in the castle.
More likely to be clank, clank, clank once you get to the castle, which would probably have had some sort of floor, whereas the field was more...
Yes.
You walk to the castle, clank, 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 clank. And then there's like the drawbridge, a more resonant...
Clogum, clogum, clogum.
Yeah.
And so you get there, and why is the castle ruined?
There's been a war.
Nothing to do with us. Preempting what would be said next, so...
No, there's been a war, and there's also bears.
What?
There's bears.
From the Happy Mondays?
No, bears.
Bez from the Happy Mondays.
Oh, bears.
She said there was also Bez.
Say it again, Rob.
I said from the Happy Mondays. Thank you.
So you're in a castle.
Yes.
The castle's in ruins.
Yes.
And there's bears.
What,
Yes.
from the Happy Mondays?
Is the idea behind this that we were all one person before, or we've been lots of people?
We've been lots of people before.
So if you go for the next session, you might get one of the other people.
Absolutely
You might not, and then you sort of go, I want to find out what happened to the medieval Frenchman. No, you can't do that. You're the Greek soothsayer today.
Some parts, I think, of the Buddhist faith believe that you carry on until you've lived every life.
That's it.
Wow.
So
Every life. At some point, David, I'm going to be you. And I'm going to do it differently.
But can you do it differently? In this system where we all get a go being everyone, doesn't it all just, the ride goes the same, whatever? You sort of think, actually, no, I'm actually Lee Mack being David Mitchell, so I'm going to do it more northern. But it's too late. No, we've got to do David Mitchell. You can't. That could be happening now. You could be doing me, I could be doing you.
I'm not doing you now, David.
I think if you were doing yourself, you'd be being funnier than you are now with me doing you.
If I was doing myself now, I would be thrown off the show again.
What about you, David? Do you think you've lived other lives, David?
No, I don't think.
Do you
I've
have
lived
any
other
time
lives.
for this poppycock?
My
Is that your nickname for him? Get a room, you two!
Michelle, I think you're going true.
100%.
Right.
I mean, Michelle is so convinced that it's true.
Yeah.
That I would then go with Michelle.
It's not hard to believe you went to a therapist and lay down and closed your eyes and had a think. And that out of the thinking came some notion of clanking around, and that would make the story true, wouldn't it? I think we're going to say true.
Right. Chizzy, was it true, or were you telling a lie?
Oh, guys, come on. Yeah, it's true.
Whenever I need an energy boost, I'll stop doing what I'm doing and I hug a tree.
Right. Lee's team.
Right. When was the last time this happened, Gemma?
2 hours ago.
Didn't you arrive here about 2 hours ago?
I did. and
Where
when
in Elstree Studios did you find this tree?
Well, when I turned up, I was like, oh, my gosh. Like, meeting Rob, I'm his biggest fan. That's why I agreed to do the show. And that is the truth. You don't know how buzzing I am to be this close to him.
It's a lie.
So basically, I felt really nervous and I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to see him with my own 2 eyes, not just through the TV screen. I need to hug a tree and ground myself.
What tree was it?
My security guard took me over to Tesco's.
Stop. Your security guard?
Yeah.
Did you think there was a chance that maybe Rob would attack you today?
Yeah, I was hoping. Oh. I was absolutely hoping.
Can I just say, I'm genuinely confused and I'm not quite sure how to react.
So he took me to Tesco's. There was no trees in the car park, but they were selling cherry blossom trees.
Oh.
So I was like, do you know what? That'll have to do. So I hugged the cherry blossom to ground myself. And I did some breathing techniques, and I was like...
What are the breathing techniques? In and then out, and then in and then out?
No, it was like... Rob.
Before today, what was the last time it happened?
This morning.
And what was...
that's today. I love nature, so literally...
So do I.
I go outside in my garden naked most mornings.
You go out naked and hug a tree?
So, you're in Shaka Khan. You're in
a secure unit fancying Rob.
You're in the garden. You're in
Yes.
the garden and you're naked. Now, here's the question on all our lips, which is, what about the neighbours?
So, when I moved into the house, I was like, there's not enough trees. And I watched, I think it was David Attenborough, one of them, Spring Watch or something like that, where they said every time you plant a tree, you're putting air back into the oxygen.
True.
So I rung my local garden centre.
I think you've got that the other way round, but we'll...
Something like that. Oh, yeah.
That's all the right words, not necessarily in the right order.
Yeah. I went to my local garden centre and I bought, like, hundreds of trees to, like, block the neighbours' view.
So, Sally, what are you thinking?
Do you know, it's that bizarre, Gemma, that I'm sort of believing you.
The GC, you know, her kind of persona is, you know, Essex, glitz and glamour. But I do think you are quite at one with nature as well.
Yeah. So, what do we think?
I have no doubt she loves trees. The bit I doubt is that she loves you. It's a lie.
All right, so you're going to say it's a lie. OK, Gemma, was it true or was it a lie?
It's true! I've got this game!
Possession.
OK, there's a box under your desk. Could you take the item out of the box, pop it on the desk, and then read the card?
This was my lucky mascot, Thumper. When I played for England, he had his own seat on the coach next to me and was always the last person I looked in the eye before leaving the dressing room.
Wow. Lee's team.
Can we get him?
Yes, let's see your sporting
Don't throw it forward. No. Do not throw it forward, otherwise that will be a foul.
You could pass it to me if you want. Team play?
Yes, of course. Catch it, please.
That's quite a thrill for me. Thank you.
Thumper.
What? Be careful with Thumper.
Be careful.
Oh, Morgana.
Oh, Morgana, what are you doing?
All the places you could look.
Does it smell of?
Success.
Yes.
I would like. Imagine if this was. It would smell of like jock straps and sweat. And just mud and general.
Wow. Where did he come from, Hugo? Where did you acquire him?
Had him as a child.
As a child, so a gift from a kindly parent or relative.
Hang on. This belongs to Johnny Wilkinson. What's that? So, how long have you had him?
About 25 years.
OK, keep an eye on his face. Would that annoy you a bit?
Sorry?
I'm just checking out if that annoys you. He seems to be not that bothered, doesn't he? Look, I'm doing that.
So you said he sat next to you on the coach. How did that come about?
So I started playing rugby age 13 and I went to boarding school and he came along with me and he was a comfort to me at school.
Right.
Can I give him back now? I feel like...
No, you can't, because you're going to buzz him.
No, don't worry.
No, you don't.
I'll pretend it's...
No!
It's a conversion! It's a conversion!
No, you can't! No, you can't do that.
No.
You can't. You can't. No, you're clapping!
All right, so what do you think, Morgana?
I don't think the bunny smells right. It smells too clean. It smells like it's out of a kid's toy shop.
What do you think, Tom?
I think that you'd be terrified, be very scared of being bullied at the age of 13, going away to boarding school. The last thing you're going to do is attract attention to yourself by bringing out your thumping rabbit.
Lee?
I think I'm going to go with my team and say that is a lie.
OK. Hugo, were you telling us the truth or was it a lie?
Lie.
I once had to explain to the police why I had 2 coffins in the back of my van.
David's team.
Imagine I'm the police. Why have you got 2 coffins in the back of your van, sir?
Well, I was doing a touring play at the time, and there was vampires in it.
Yeah.
So we had 2 coffins in the back of the van as props. And we were actually in Germany doing this play called Neighbours with Long Teeth. And
Things never translate from English to German.
Why did the police stop you?
Well, unbeknownst to us, the head of the Deutsche Bank had just been assassinated in Frankfurt.
Right.
And they were stopping everyone.
And so they were pulling over basically all vans.
They were looking for anything dodgy, basically, I guess.
Right.
Where were you? Which city?
It was just outside Frankfurt.
I live there.
Do you?
Yeah.
So they pulled you over.
Machine guns, everything. Very, very serious situation.
Yeah.
And we had to explain the plot of our play, Neighbours with Long Teeth.
Because you speak a bit of German. So
Yeah.
you were the... How many of you were there?
3 of us.
Oh, you should have said 9.
What sort of venues are you touring around?
Schools.
Schools. So...
The plot went that I was a sort of young 17-year-old schoolboy who'd fallen in love with my neighbour who was a vampire. And she came up out of the coffin, and that's where we first met.
And what was the other coffin for?
The other coffin was for her parents, her mum or her dad. I think they shared, because they're a married couple, they're allowed to...
I mean, to be fair, Moxie is loving this show.
And how did you explain all this to the police?
It was a lot of mime.
But it's quite a complex plot, so how would you convey it to them?
I think they had more things on their mind than the full... They didn't get to Act 3.
So, yes, at what point in your description of the story did they glaze over?
Right, Bez, what do you think?
Well, I love the plot of Neighbours with Long Teeth, and it's got to be true with Stephen, I reckon.
You think true, Moxie?
You don't think any of this is true, do you? You don't think this is really happening?
But don't you remember when the president of the Deutsche Bank was assassinated in Frankfurt?
When did this happen?
It would have been its late 80s.
I just born. Like,
So you're not a suspect?
That wasn't a big part of your childhood. Kind of, let us tell you the story of the president of the Deutsche Bank.
Right, what's it going to be?
well, I live around Frankfurt area. I mean, even if I wasn't there in the 80s, I think I would have heard the story.
How old were you when you went to Germany?
18.
You arrived in Frankfurt
Yes.
over 20 years after Steve's van was pulled over. I am not surprised they didn't mention it.
But this is a story. This is culture. You carry that on.
A school's tour of a play about vampires, and the police pull over their van once on what was quite a busy day for the police. I cannot share your confidence that they would have mentioned it to you, an 18-year-old dancer coming from South Africa. I don't think that will be on the things you need to know, local restaurants, you know, this is how you pay the tax, the bins come on Tuesdays. Oh, and I must tell you, back in the late 80s, there was a guy here and he had a couple of coffins in his van. Turned out it was just a school's tour. If that's what you're basing it on, I'm going with Bez.
OK. So you're saying it's true?
Yes.
So, Steve, was it true or was it a lie?
True.
And they never mentioned it.
Whenever someone sits down next to me in public, I always say boing out loud just as their bottom hits the seat and then see what happens next.
David's team.
So as they sit down, does it have to be right next to you, or
They have to be able to hear me say it.
Do you say it quietly? Do you say it loud?
I don't think I've ever done anything quietly in my life. Do you want to demonstrate?
Yeah, let's have a go.
I'll demonstrate.
Lee, can you stand?
Just about. What's this for acting?
Boy,
And is it?
No, that was unusual. Yeah. Do you vary the boings according to who's sitting down?
Yes.
What would you do? What would you do for David? Would
Absolutely.
you stand up?
Go on, David.
Let's let David sit and just go with the flow here, Jade.
Right, OK.
OK.
Boing.
See, much perter.
I'm trying to work out which is best.
I know which is best. I think it's very clear which is best.
Jade, would you indulge me?
OK.
Yeah. Well, stand up, then.
I am standing up.
Boing.
Is that a Welsh boy?
Yes. It's just quite Welsh, but also quite seductive.
Ellie, what do you think?
I can see it, you doing it. Do you have to be on it? Do you have to be focused? So when someone sits down, they go, boing.
I don't think about it that hard. It's just... it's just if someone...
You can spot the Olympian, can't you? You have to be on it. You have to be focused. I don't really think about it, really. OK, David, it's time to be a captain, to be a leader.
Okay, what do you think?
Real leadership quality, that.
I'd love it to be true, but I think it might be false.
I think, having got to know you, I think this is absolutely credible. I think it's very much the truth.
David?
Well, I was going to say it's probably not the truth, because what she said is that every time someone sits down next to her, she goes boing. And I don't think anyone would do that. OK, we're going to say it's not true, it's a lie.
You're going to say it's a lie. OK, Jade, was it true or was it a lie?
It's a lie.
Right. Can I just check, are they the right glasses? Because you're pausing.
I was once asked to host an awards ceremony after being mistaken for someone else.
Was it Rob Brydon? Was it Rob Brydon's son?
Oh, that Death in Paradise has gone downhill since Ardle left it.
Well, first of all, who was this person?
Well, our esteemed host.
Oh, so it was Rob?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah. OK.
Do you know that you look alike?
Well, I don't know that. I do know this. He's a very good-looking man.
I mean, it's a pleasure being next to the handsomest man on television. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much.
So, talk us through how this mix-up came about, then.
I was at a do, and somebody asked me if I would host this particular awards.
And what were the awards
ceremony.
for?
It was sort of building industry contractors awards thing. Would I go and give out the awards for best cement? I said, "What's the fee?" By the way.
Oh, that's when he thought you were Rob Brydon.
And then, and it was quite considerable, so I took it.
When they thought you were Rob, did you immediately say, "No, I'm not Rob"?
No, I just laughed it off.
Did you did the gig or you didn't?
Yeah, I did the
You
gig.
did?
Yeah.
I tell you what, when they saw you walk out, there'll be a fair few people saying, "Good God, he's shot up." I had that late growth spurt.
I'd like to know more about the cement. I don't think either of you would be booked for cement. I've done these gigs.
You've done these corporates
I've done
yourself?
Chip Fat.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, the Chip Fat Awards. Hold on. You haven't done the Chip Fat
there's a
Awards.
Chip Fat
Awards.
I'm stunned you would question my cement awards and then give me chip fat.
I don't believe it.
You don't?
I don't, and I'm really gullible.
Why don't you believe it?
It's the cement for me.
What about you, Ralph? What are you thinking?
I think it's a lie. It's got to be a lie.
OK. Right. You lovely-looking man. Was it true or was it a lie?
It was true.